on, Vintage Gamers? Today, we're going to play some Standstill. I know, Justin, you said Standstill is bad, but here's my logic. I lose to this deck a lot in leagues, and I'm not 100% sure on why I do. So I think the best way and an underutilized skill is to play decks that you are performing poorly against to understand their strengths and weaknesses better. So whenever I'm having struggles against a deck, I like to play the other side of the matchup and see, find out where the mana gets pinched or the spells get pinched, and try to understand what makes the deck tick, and that way you can better exploit the weaknesses when you're facing the deck. So today what I did is I asked Take Your Time for his most recent list. He said that this is the list that him and Shockwave have been putting together. Those are the two probably standout Standstill players on Magic the Gathering Online. So they put a lot of work into this list. So I'm going to play it as is. No tuning, none of that. I'm just going to do my best to play this Standstill list. As you can probably tell from my voice, I'm not feeling super great. So please excuse maybe low volume or less enthusiastic gameplay than normal. But I'm just going to try to make sure that we can have a good time today and play well. So what is this deck? This deck is a true classic blue-white control deck. It revolves around the card Standstill. It's a symmetrical enchantment. When a player casts a spell, sacrifice Standstill. If you do, each of that player's opponents draws 3 cards. So basically, you want to play a Standstill early before opponent has any creatures in play. And then the way you get around this symmetrical effect is by playing cards like Timeless Dragon. Timeless Dragon is a plane cycling large flying beater that has Eternalize. Eternalize is not casting. Eternalize is an activated ability, and you get to put a big old dragon token into play. And so you can start beating down underneath the protection of your Standstill. If your opponent tries to answer the dragon, you get to play Ancestral Recall, which is always great. This deck, Timeless Dragon, is a pretty cool inclusion from, it looks like Modern Horizons 2. There have been iterations of different Standstill lists from Brian Kelly in the past that used to play other Eternalized creatures. They were a little bit weaker. The Eternalized creatures themselves were not as strong. Timeless Dragon has proven to be, at least in Legacy, just a strong card on paper. Plane cycling is definitely a plus, and the idea of eternalizing for 4 mana is very achievable. Not to mention it's a fast flying clock. So there's a bunch of utility lands. You have Wastelands, you have Strip Mine, you have Tolarian Academy, you have a Library of Alexandria, a card that's restricted in Vintage, but kind of has fallen out of favor in the fast format of recently. However, if you place a matchup where you're not killing your opponent, or your opponent's not killing you very fast, this card can easily take away, the whole game. More than just a blue counter suite, we've got 6 Forces, a Mindbreak Trap, Mana Drain, Flusterstorm, Misstep, those kind of things. Access to Balance, access to the broken Planeswalkers of Teferi and Narset, and Karn. I do see a Jace the Mind Sculptor hanging out over here. I'm not a huge fan of Jace the Mind Sculptor, but it definitely has its place, and this seems like it might be the place. And yeah, I'm pretty excited for this. I will always preface this by saying this is not something I know how to play or would play well, so there will definitely be mistakes, but hopefully we can both learn from the mistakes that I make during the stream, and we can get a better understanding of this deck when you face Aaron and Shockwave in leagues. So let's go play some leagues. Okay, here we go. Round 1, Vintage League. We're up against a 3-0 player. We're on the draw with a Library of Alexandria and some counter spells. I think this is definitely within our keepable range. Let's try it. So Library of Alexandria is not the most straightforward card to play. You can only activate it when you have exactly 7 cards in hand, which means you don't really want to be forcing unless you absolutely have to, because then you will be off your library. I'm going to try my best to activate... excuse me. Library of Alexandria as best as I can. The good news here is my opponent went Mox, so I'm just going to start with Trap and get good value. I can't really let this resolve because of the existence of Urza Saga. If I had a Wasteland in my hand, then I could maybe let it resolve, but Urza Saga fetching Manifold Key means I can't really let Time Ball resolve. However, Mind Big Trap is a really nice answer because now they can no longer get this back in most ways unless they have a Karn in their deck. It is still going to be a little annoying to face this Saga because we don't have one of our 5 Wastelands in our hand. So unfortunately, because we actually use Mind Big Trap, we no longer have 7 cards in our hand if we play Library, but it's still probably the way we got to go. We will draw up to 7 when we draw next turn. Then we can basically activate Library and then play our land for turn. So, yeah. Unfortunately, we don't actually have great answers to Saga tokens at the moment. but maybe we can draw some. Like maybe we can use these Teferis as just bounce spells. We'll have to see what happens. All right, so Prismatic Ending, unfortunately, not being March means it does not hit Urza Saga, because Urza Saga is a land, but it will answer one of the tokens. I could even Prismatic Ending the Pearl so that they can't make 2 tokens. That is an interesting idea. I think what I'm going to do is start by activating my library, because I have 7 cards in hand. I think I like the idea of Prismatic Ending the Pearl, so they're only going to get 1 token. Obviously, it's going to put us down to 6 cards, but we'll be back up to 7 next turn. I think that makes sense. I'm going to get an Tundra because I don't think my opponent plays Wastelands. And they also missed a land drop. That is a totally reasonable point as well. Sorry, I haven't cast this spell in a while. Exile target non-land permanent if its mana value is less than or equal to the number of... Okay, so I can cast it for 1 color, where X is 0, and I should be able to exile this Pearl. I suspect my opponent is going to be on Esper Tinker, and so the Pearl should be more valuable than the Ruby. However, if my opponent is on Breach, then the Ruby is more valuable than the Pearl. I don't know the answer to that question, but I would, if I had to guess based on my opponent, I would probably suspect that they are on Esper Tinker rather than on Breach. So the good news here is my opponent had missed a land drop last turn, and they're not going to be able to make a token this turn. So basically, our Prismatic Ending did kill a token, but it also hit their Mox. So pretty happy with that. And then we can clean up the last token with a Teferi. See what they get here. Might be a top, might be a Soul Ring, depending on what they have. Okay, Black Lotus. So are we on Breach or are we on... All right, blue. Let's see. I have Double Force, but that will take me off of Library, which I don't really want to do. I don't really know Pioneer super well, so I'm sure I'm not going to be able to help you as much as other people would be able to. I don't really play much Pioneer, and I didn't have a super high opinion of it before. Narset is an annoying one, because currently we're activating Library on our turn, and we won't be able to do that. I kind of don't want this to happen. However, I'm a little concerned that if we just counter it, then my opponent will Flusterstorm, and then we have to counter again, leaving us with just Timeless Dragon, and maybe that's okay, though. I just don't think we want our opponent to have access to Narset, 4 cards in hand. This doesn't seem good to me. I don't really like this. I'm going to counter it. So unfortunately, that makes us off of Library unless we draw Ancestral. So they did have access to Flusterstorm. I do think I'm still going to double force it. And maybe that's aggressive. Maybe that's way too much. But I think I'd rather have access to this Teferi than Dig Through Time, because I want to answer this current Construct token. But I'm not 100% sure on that one either. Could easily see us maybe wanting to Timeless Dragon for a land and then maybe cast Dig. Any land drop would be great. This is kind of a land drop, so I'm just gonna cycle my Timeless Dragon and go get another Tundra, and then next turn we can answer this. And I mean, my opponent has not very much going for them, but hopefully we don't get like tinkered or something. They had missed a land drop again on their last turn, but they do have access. Oh, that's not a very nice thing for them to get. That's a good top deck for sure. I would hope we draw just a Wasteland. That would be the best thing here. That way we can just answer the Construct and Wasteland the Saga, and we'll be in great shape. Obviously, I could bounce the Saga, but it doesn't really feel like a strong play. I mean, maybe if I hit a land drop, maybe I'm supposed to bring back Timeless Dragon first. Merchant Scroll for Ancestral seems good as well. I kind of like the idea of just bouncing this thing. Seems better to me. I guess if my opponent has a Force of Will, then it's pretty bad. Oh, they did find a Force of Will? That's not good for me. It does mean they won't be able to activate more Construct tokens, though, because they won't have enough lands, probably. We'll see. Uh-oh, did they order it wrong? What are we waiting for here? Oh, they're choosing what to pitch. So they had Negation Merchant Scroll. Okay, well, the clock continues. Does this deck have a repeal? This deck does not have a repeal. So I can't Merchant Scroll for a repeal, unfortunately. Okay. The good news is they still don't have more tokens coming. The bad news is we're running out of time. Just never having a wasteland has been pretty rough. All right, well, this is even worse. Well, I think should be able to resolve Ancestral here unless they have exactly Mental Misstep. I'm just gonna get Ancestral. Unfortunately, I can't protect it with Flusterstorm because I've just been missing land drops. Wow, they have... Okay, they're spinning. I don't know if getting Teferi Forest is better than getting Ancestral Forest. That is definitely a question. I don't have the answer. I do feel like this game would be very easy if we had a wasteland, but because we don't have a wasteland, it's been quite difficult. All right, so that is technically an answer. Can I cast this probe? I go to 6. They get a thing. This is a 4/4. Basic planes, not ideal here for sure. But also, I mean, Tolarian Academy would also be pretty bad, right? I'm not 100% sure I'm allowed to cast this Gitaxian Probe, but I kind of want to hit a Wasteland if possible. Though casting Balance and losing all my lands is also a problem. I don't know. What are we going to do about that? I think I would rather just get a Timeless Dragon first. But... So if they get an artifact here is 4, and they get an artifact here is 5, and I mean, I don't think I should die, but I'm a little concerned. Hull Breacher is their last card. Well, I do think I'm currently losing. See what happens. Basically, just missing on lands and not hitting Wasteland has kind of been the issue from what I can tell, but I don't know, like we got really nice value off of our Mindbreak Trap. We got really nice value off of our Prismatic Ending. Our double Force of Will was quite bad, but I don't know if we had any, like, I don't think we can let them have a Narset. All right, so they're just going to play a Hull Breacher maybe? I don't know. So they got enough Mox in here that they can play a Hull Breacher. Also, they can't get another artifact and kill me because they would have to use their top. So they are, you know, putting me to 1. So unfortunately, now blocking with Timeless Dragon isn't enough. Yeah, I think we're just going to die. Don't really see what our way out is here. Standstill is obviously garbage. Yeah, so they just had enough threats where we lost. It's kind of unfortunate. Maybe I was supposed to get my Merchant Scroll Ancestral countered. That way our Teferi could beat the Construct. That is definitely a mistake that could have been made for sure. Is there any like way out of this? I just like have to find I can't even force because I'm at 1. So I don't think there's any ways out of this. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we can change the Force of Will play. It doesn't really feel like we beat a Narset, to be honest. But I definitely think we could have switched the order of Ancestral and Teferi. I don't know. I think I have to do this. Maybe this will bait them into Hull Breachering or something, and then I can balance. I can Eternalize, but then I'm putting myself dead on board. So that's not a very strong play. I guess I don't even have mana to do anything. Oh, wait. So somehow I baited this Hull Breacher. So if I hit a Moxen here, we live. And we don't have any Moxen yet, so... we will lose all of our cards, but... I guess we can win this game just by hitting a Moxen. I hit the Moxen. Okay. So I don't know why my opponent cast Hull Breacher there. Maybe to play around Force of Will. But I'm at 1 life, so I can't Force of Will. So I think this was just a mistake by our opponent. Unfortunately, I lose all of my lands. And I lose all of my hand. But we don't die, so... small victories, I guess. I mean, it's possible to win now, but the problem is my opponent has a top, so it doesn't feel likely to win. All right, so I want to hit just a blue land, probably. They just top decked another Hull Breacher. All right, well, that doesn't seem like something we're going to be able to beat from here. Unless we hit Black Lotus, which we did. I was like, there's only one draw here, and it's Black Lotus. All right, we live again. This has been a hell of a game, that's for sure. No, its main of cost is 5, but the Eternalize is only 4. The good news is they can't double draw on a turn because we have Narset. Key. No. Oh my god, we're gonna lose the unblockable key. This is so sad. It feels like every time we have the answer, my opponent just finds the next best answer. All right, this is a bad play for my opponent because they can't actually draw. We don't have a swords in the main deck, unfortunately. We've used both of our Teferis and we've used our prismatic ending, so we have no answers. I don't think we have any way out of this. Because we don't have a Lotus to play our Karn. We don't have our prismatic ending. We don't have a repeal in our deck. I just don't think we have answers. So unfortunately, this looks like it's just going to be too much. I don't think we have any answers. Yeah. It's quite the way to go. I thought we were going to win that game, but Sensei's top too strong. I think that game entirely hinges on the fact that I went for Ancestral instead of going for Teferi. I went for Teferi instead of going for Ancestral. So like that's one of my biggest problems with these kind of decks is one mistake means you immediately lose the game. And I feel like we drew our absolute best cards to even stay alive. Like our Narset hit exactly Mox plus Lotus to live, and we still didn't get there. In terms of sideboarding, Engineered Explosives looks incredible. I don't know if you're supposed to play Needle. I don't know if you're supposed to play Hercules. Swords seems correct. So these are the cards that I'm looking at. I don't know how many or which ones. I don't know what you take out. I have no idea, actually. I don't know what we're supposed to do. Let's take a think for here. I don't know. Jace the Mind Sculptor seems a little weak. How are we supposed to board for this matchup? Feels like you can't board in Needles. But I don't know. Like, I want Trap and Counter Magic. Like, maybe you play one less Flusterstorm because they're the Tinker deck. Maybe you play this, don't play this Tolarian Academy. I don't know. I mean, you don't. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Maybe we board out some standstills. That's not unreasonable. I mean, we have more wastelands than they have sagas, right? I don't really know. This doesn't seem unreasonable by any means. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of just boarding out cards I don't like, so that's not really a good reasoning. I'm gonna try board out to Standstill. I like cannot. Am I allowed to board out Standstill in this? I guess that's probably fine. Like we have a wide variety of counter magic. It's probably acceptable. Maybe this Hercules is actually not good, in which case I can board out one Standstill, and I can board out Academy Flusterstorm Jace. This looks okay. Let's try that. I have no idea if this is correct or not, so I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't play Mana Drain in my deck at all, so I don't know when Mana Drain is good or bad. It's kind of hard to evaluate for me. All right, so my opponent has Probe, Mox, Fluster, Negation, Hull Breacher. Do we gain anything by casting Ponder? Probably. All right. Well, unfortunately, these cards just don't do anything, right? We're gonna lose if we do this because my opponent will just beat us in a counter war with Flusterstorm. So I mean, I want these cards because I want lands, but am I really allowed to keep these cards? Like if one of these was a fetch land, it would be a lot better. But none of them are fetch lands, so I can't use my Brainstorm. I don't have a single threat. And maybe that's fine. I don't know. Like my opponent has a lot of counter magic and a probe. But if I don't keep these cards and I miss on land drops, it's really bad for me as well. Kind of hard to say. I don't know. I don't know. At least I can hold up like hard cast. I'm just gonna lose, right? My opponent is gonna eventually Hull Breacher plus Flusterstorm me, and I can't win. I do need to make sure I brainstorm before they have Hull Breacher mana, though. But the problem is my brainstorm looks really bad with this, right? Because I know which cards I'm going to draw. I don't know. I feel like I have to keep, though, because I have to hit my land drops. Maybe I don't, because I have all these Moxen. I guess I can technically hold up all my hard cast spells next turn, so maybe it's fine, but... I mean, I might have to brainstorm this turn, right? If my opponent hits another Moxen, then I have to do it before they're allowed to cast Hull Breacher. Maybe I don't, because I have Mindbreak Trap. I mean, I just get flustered, but I guess I can hit the whole fluster with a Mindbreak Trap if I wanted to. I don't know. This doesn't feel like it gets me anywhere, but I also don't know what else I'm doing, and I feel like I need to draw through my cards. Classic. I don't have anything to do with my mana drain, though. I don't know what my game plan is. I have all counter spells, right? What's the game plan? Like, my opponent gets to play on my end step with negation Flusterstorm back up. That doesn't feel winning to me. Like, I'm going to draw this Plains, which is quite poor. Yeah, I don't really know where I'm going here. They do know all of my counter magic, too. Well, I guess they don't know about Drain. They know about everything else. But the problem is I can't actually play 2 pieces of hardcast counter magic. I guess. I just don't know where I'm going. That's my problem. Like, you need to have a plan when you play a game of Magic, and I don't have any plan. Like, maybe a Hull Breacher doesn't matter, but it kind of feels like having a creature in play matters. They just didn't cast it. Okay. Yeah, it'll go on YouTube as long as I can finish it. As long as I'm in good enough shape to finish it. Time Vault. I'm just going to let this happen. I don't think I care. All right, I'm definitely going to hold this strip mine for a saga, though. That is 100% happening. It's currently a federal holiday in the United States, so I am off today. Interesting. So I can play a strip mine and then cast a Karn. Is that good? Feels good. But I don't know. Like, I'm not going to beat this currently, right? Because they have negation fluster. I don't think we can resolve it. I have to, like, bait them into playing 3 spells, even though they know I have a Mindbreak Trap, which seems impossible. I don't know. It doesn't feel like waiting is improving our situation, though. Yeah, I guess that's true. If we can wait and get a mana drain. I just don't think we're going to resolve a mana drain either. I don't know. But yeah, this is probably bad. I probably just have to keep waiting. And like if they cast Soul Breacher, I drain it. That would have been better. I just don't know. Like we don't have 4 blue mana. I feel like we need 4 blue mana. Is this got negation? Pitching Flusterstorm. Interesting. Maybe they have a second Flusterstorm. I think I want to force back because they don't know about mana drain. Maybe. Are they gonna hard cast force? So I think we win this stack now because they can't Flusterstorm at the end. But they can play a Hull Breacher in response to a Lattice. I mean, this is 5 mana, though. This just feels winning. I feel like the choices they used for their spells feels odd to me. Like they knew about Trap. They didn't know about Drain, I guess. Like, pitching Flusterstorm doesn't feel good. Like, you could have just hard cast Negation. Oh, so they have a second Flusterstorm, and we're going to hit the whole stack. Okay. I got to see if I can pull this off, but I think we just win. All right. Good luck, Justin. All right. So I'm going to cast this, and I'm going to click on this negation. I'm not going to click on the Force of Will, and I'm going to click on Fluster, 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 and hit OK. I mean, we know their last card is Hull Breacher. So I still get the mana drain mana, and I resolve a Karn, and then I probably plus Karn so that I can take a Hull Breacher hit, and then I'm good. Like I hit this, then I can play a Lattice at 3. Oh no, I can't play a Lattice at 3. Oh no, I don't get the mana drain mana. Oh, I should have done this in the second main phase. I'm so bad. Okay. We learned. I should have done this in the second main phase. I did not even consider it. Wow, that was really bad of me. Okay. Yes. Bad play for sure. So my opponent has a Hull Breacher that we know about. What do we have? I mean, that's a good draw. We have a Crucible. Oh wait, we still win though, right? There's no Ensnaring Bridge in this list. Oh yeah, I guess that's true. Crucible would be good if their last card was. So we go to 4 though, and we just get a Lattice, and then we win because we stand up the Lattice on the next turn, right? So it's still fine. They didn't draw Force, so it's still fine. Yeah, so going up to 6 was the magic number here. So it's all good. And then we just stand up the Lattice every turn and then eventually kill them. Okay, so I played not great, but it didn't matter. Yeah, so they get to put my car into 1, but then every turn I get to stand up Lattice, and they can't cast any spells for the rest of the game, so interesting game of Magic the Gathering for sure. Dig Through Time's a nice one, so let's stand up our Lattice, and let's cast Dig. I guess we should probably cast Dig before standing up our Lattice. All right, then we just take a Teferi and a Prismatic Ending, I guess. Well, I guess we don't really need a Prismatic Ending. I'll just take 2 Teferis. And then we play blue, Teferi, and now I can just bounce this Hull Breacher, and they can't win from here, and we attack them for lethal. Okay, cool. All right, interesting. I wish I had played the mana drain better, but some amount of learning is involved. Okay, let's try again. Oh man, I am dying. I need food. I need food. Let me do. I will do that after we play this match. Okay. I do think it's possible we would have won game one as well if we just played slightly differently. So we have a library on the draw with access to strip mine, standstill, and sword. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep it. The problem with this hand is obviously it has no counter magic for a turn one tinker, but like if I go library, activate sapphire, pearl, standstill, it feels really good, right? Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine you're supposed to mulligan this hand. This feels like the exact kind of hand you want to keep. I don't know. I don't know the answer. I don't play enough of either of the decks to have a concrete opinion. I mean, I didn't like Standstill in the other list. I feel like you should have cut Standstill, but so that's 2 Moxen. And that's 3 Moxen. Okay. So we have 8 cards, and then we play library down to 7 cards, and we activate library up to 8 cards. If we had a Flusterstorm, maybe. Okay. Wow. That feels real good, right? So let's play. Yeah, sorry, I'm not feeling well right now. I don't have COVID, which for now, which is nice, but I am not doing too hot today. Yeah, I'm gonna just slam a Teferi, see what my opponent does, and then slam a standstill. And now we are in great shape, I would say. I'm just gonna plus. There's no real reason to bounce. That was a hell of a powerful draw. We did draw, you know, a pile of restricted cards, but all right, so my opponent's just going to immediately break the standstill. Is this a tinker? Oh, it's a twister. I mean, that feels fine to me as well. Okay. I mean, it's not great because my opponent's drawing 5 new cards, or, you know, 7 new cards with a million mana in play. I actually can probe in response because I have this. That's kind of interesting. Should I wait? No, there's no reason to wait. If I find a force, then I would actually be able to beat a Flusterstorm because I have an in-play Teferi. Well, opponent can't hold Reacher in response because they have, you know, there's a Teferi. They also, I mean, they would have had to already have a hold Reacher. Okay, I mean, I have to do this. I only hit 1 force. It's no good. Bounce the ring? I don't think that's good. I think we're going to lose this game, though. Time Twister looks really good here, and I just didn't draw any of my, like, I have so many blue counter spells, but I just didn't draw enough of them. Looks pretty dead, honestly. Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna lose because I didn't draw enough blue cards. Unlucky, really. I don't really think I could have played this differently. I think I played the way it was supposed to be played. I'm just going to lose. That's crazy. Man, Time Twister looked real good there, even though I wouldn't say Time Twister is very good against my deck because I have so much counter magic, but I just didn't draw any counter magic, right? So I guess we just lose. Wow. I felt like extremely favored after turn 1, but if we just stand still, draw 0 cards that matter, into probe, draw 0 cards that matter, into twister, draw 0 cards that matter, maybe that's just too much. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm supposed to bring in swords because of Hull Breacher, and I think I'm supposed to bring in Needle because of Saga. Maybe I'm supposed to take out Planes. That's totally reasonable. Maybe taking out Planes is better than taking out Academy, but it wouldn't have, you know, changed the situation. I probably am supposed to board out this Planes, by the way. I just kind of realized that now. This Planes definitely should have been boarded out. I don't know why I kept it in. I don't think it matters in this situation, because it's not like I'm boarding in like a counterspell or something. But this is definitely worse than Academy. So that was just a thing I noticed here. I guess I can just F6 because I have no plays. I'm gonna make my opponent do it. I don't know. I don't really like the blue-black deck's ways of winning the game. Typically, I find them to be lacking. So we're gonna see what the opponent does here. It's just gonna be at Urza. Full Breacher. Sure. I mean, they're already down to 7. They have to kind of find a Yogwill to take an extra Time Walk turn, probably. I guess maybe if they just Twister again, that's probably game. Yeah, I mean, I thought our play was good. I don't think... It's kind of rough, though. If we didn't have Teferi, my opponent had Twister Time Twister plus Fluster, so... Yeah, I don't know. Let's just let opponent do it. Let's enjoy the experience. Yeah. Merchant for what? Ancestral? Sure. 4 cards left. 4 life left. I mean, they have infinite mana, right? Or not infinite mana, but they have like 1,000,000 mana. No, I think Yogwill is probably just underplayed, to be honest. Oh, the biggest problem is one of the best black decks in the format is an Underworld Breach deck, and Underworld Breach eats the same slot as Yogwill. However, like I think Yogwill is quite good in... I mean, I think Yogwill is... I would never cut Yogwill from PO or from... Not never, but I would very rarely cut Yogwill from PO or from like Blue Black or Esper Tinker. All right, my opponent is down to 1 life. They do get to kill the Teferi, and they have 12 cards in hand. Like, where are you seeing lists that don't have Yogwill but should have Yogwill? What kind of decks? Because I know I always include Yogwill in my black decks. I think Yogwill is an insane magic card. Yeah, could have ancestraled me. That is a choice they could have made for sure. How's it going, Andy? Let me know when your videos go up and I can put them in the Discord. All right, there's bulky, but they don't have key yet. Oh, they're already up. Okay, I'll make sure I'll do that at some point then. You did a lot better in your leagues than I did in mine, so okay, we are now dead. So that was an unfortunate time twister. Not much we could have done about it though. Okay, you got me, opponent. Okay, here we go, round 2. Vintage League, probably playing against Oath. Let's see what we can do. I've got a nice hand for sure. Keep. This plane's always sticks out to me. I wonder if this plane should be in the board. Maybe not. Maybe you have to play. What are we gonna do with this Merchant Scroll when you have Ancestral already? Like, we're probably not even supposed to Ancestral on turn 1 here because we have access to Flusterstorm. We're probably just supposed to play Fetchland Go and wait until we have access to Flusterstorm. Try to play patient. You're saying if they had Breacher and Twister? I mean, we're drawing 3 cards off Standstill in that situation, right? I don't know if that really is a big deal. All right, I don't think there's any good reason to cast Ancestral right now. I don't really feel like there's a good reason to do much of anything, to be honest. It feels like just playing into like active Flusterstorms doesn't make very much sense. I feel like we're allowed to wait. Like if they play a Preordain, we can respond by Ancestraling and having Flusterstorm to counter everything. Feels pretty good. 3 tropical islands, huh? Alright, I'm gonna Ancestral myself. I guess the worst part about this is my opponent... I don't have, like, I can't Fluster that. I guess I can technically not ending it either because I have blue and white mana. That's kind of funny. Okay. Maybe we can try to find a force and then jam a Karn and kill it. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. We have so much action right now because we had an Ancestral Resolve. Oh, wow. Okay, so let's go. How many cards do I have? I have 9 cards. So playing this is 8 cards and playing this is... Okay, so let's go Time Walk, Library. Am I supposed to activate? I guess that's fine. I don't have another follow-up play, though. Like, am I supposed to ending this food token? Feels a little odd. I guess if I hit a Moxen, I can ending this, so probably not. So I guess the activating library here is a little awkward because we overdraw. Kind of odd. But this lets us go Karn with Fluster back up next turn, so we just get rid of this Plains. Don't really feel like that's necessary. Was I supposed to activate an upkeep? No, because I need to be able to play. This is gonna make me go way lower on cards than I want to go. Am I don't feel like I don't want to spew. I don't know if I'm supposed to spew here. I mean, we can probably get back to library with our crews anyways. Feels like playing a Karn makes a lot of sense. Just turns off their ability to do anything. This is going to be a weird game of Magic the Gathering, if I had to guess. We have drawn like a lot of our power though, which is nice. We have to be careful playing Moxen so they can like turn it on. Well, they don't care anymore. They have this. So we do have an... I'm going to hold this ending for... So we'll go up to 7 cards, and then we will activate library and go to 8 cards. And then where do we go from here? That's the real question. I have so many choices. I don't know the answer. Maybe we just get a Crucible and we just start Wasteland looping our opponent. That kind of seems sick to me. I didn't even know there was a Crucible until I looked. Let's go do that. I guess this lets them stand up their food token. Maybe that's okay. Can always Jace it or something, maybe. Take Crucible? No. No, you can only take creatures. They can turn off Crucible, which I guess is a problem. Maybe I'm just supposed to Prismatic Ending this Oko. That's probably for the best. I should have just done this. Well, maybe... I don't like what I did. Maybe I'm just supposed to get rid of this Oko. This Oko was causing way too many problems for me. I shouldn't have gotten Crucible. Maybe I was supposed to just get Needle and Needle Oko. Oh man, I feel like I've had so many choices and I didn't even think about half of them. Man, I don't know. It feels like playing Crucible is pretty bad into Oko, though, now that I look at it more. I'm just going to get Flusterstormed now, though. Well, maybe I lead with, like, Wasteland on this. Okay. I think this is fine. If they want to turn this into an Elk, then maybe it's okay. We're still getting really good value off of this. Well, I'm more concerned with our Crucible turning into an Elk right now, but maybe that's not even a big deal. Like, if I turn the food into an Elk, then it hits my Karn, but doesn't kill my Karn, and I can just play Jace on the next turn. You can't take Crucible. Oh, wow. Just sage you. Okay. You can only take creatures with Oko. Alright, I mean, this works out fine for me. I'm okay with this sequence. I don't really want to ending Oko because I want to be able to answer an oath. I guess an oath is not a huge issue right now with a food token in play, but I don't really want my Karn dying. So I think what I'm going to do, I should probably activate this in upkeep in case I don't hit a land drop. Maybe that's not what we want. Standstill. Brainstorm. Oh my god, I have so many things. I'm definitely being overwhelmed by choices here. Kind of just want to Jace this food token. No, this is now an elk, not a food token. You cannot do anything to it with our Karn. All right, well, that's fine. Let's just bounce this. And then let's just plus on this. And I don't think it makes any sense to use anything here. We can just pitch to hand size. Eventually, we should be like super far ahead. Maybe I'm just supposed to brainstorm and try to find a land drop, but this merchant scroll seems bad. I don't know. Tapping out doesn't seem great, but maybe it doesn't matter. Yeah, we can just needle at some point. I probably should have needled was the first thing I should have done, but I didn't really consider it. So I probably should have done that. Yeah, I've just been overwhelmed by the amount of choices that I could choose from. I definitely don't like what ones I chose. Yeah, I didn't get Besajude. That's true. I guess our needle would have gotten Besajude. That would have been kind of annoying. I wanted to Crucible lock them. That felt like a really strong thing to do, but it's interesting. Our board has no way. Oh, I guess we can dig through time our Crucible away and then regain our Crucible. That's kind of dope. I hadn't really considered that one. Oh, okay. I mean, this is fine. I don't really care. I can use another Jace bounce. Academy. All right, so let's bounce this. I guess it doesn't really help me that thing's getting bounced. Let's plus. Let's play Academy. Well, I kind of want to maybe hit a Wasteland if I can. Are there any ways for us to return? I guess there are Snapcasters. I don't think I care about snapping any of that back. Shouldn't really matter. I'm trying to hit like multiple Moxen, so my Academy lets us do everything we want. But maybe that's not even like if this gets countered, I don't even care, right? That's fine. I just don't even care. Let's just play a Standstill. Am I gonna win if I play a Standstill, or do I just lose on board to Oko? I don't think I'm allowed to play Standstill yet until I needle Oko. Maybe I'm just supposed to kill Oko. Hmm. Maybe I was just supposed to counter the Sapphire. That's also something I could be doing. I feel like all roads lead to victory, but somehow I'm going to mess it up. Yeah, I guess Karn would just handle food, so I probably could have. Now I, like, lose my Jace. Or maybe I have to, like, ending the Sapphire first. I really hate the way I played this game. I feel like I played this game extremely poorly. Wait, what if I just get a Lattice here? Do I just win? Just bounce the Sapphire and get a Lattice? That feels just like it's winning, right? Okay. I guess that makes things quite a bit easier. Yeah. The day has been saved. All right, I think I would like access to engineered explosives for Oath. Why am I frozen? All right, engineered explosives for... Why can't... Hello? Engineered explosives for Oath, and then... What else do we want to do? Like, we don't need this planes, right? The planes is bad. And then we don't need... I don't know, everything seems fine. Maybe you just take out the Snapcaster Mage. Oh, yeah, Cage. True, true. Like, at what point do you board out Karn, then? I don't know the answer to that. What about something like that? Does that make sense? Maybe. Karn doesn't feel like it makes too much. Well, I was thinking we would just board out Karn. Swords is great versus Oath. I don't know if I'd go that far. I feel like we have so many answers. Like, we have 2 Teferis. We have Jace. I feel like we don't need a Swords to Plowshares. Could be a wrong thinking, but... This feels like pretty winning to me. I guess balance is not exactly great in this matchup. Maybe I can still keep in... Yeah, I don't know. That costs like a lot of mana though, right? Well, maybe we want Karn because we want to have access to needles for Oko. Like, you want to keep like 1 needle, 1 Karn. Feels like a little awkward. Yeah, maybe you only want balance in like a heavy creature matchup. That could be true. I feel like I'm over indexing for my Karn, but maybe it's fine. I don't know. Wish we had some Aaron or Shockwave here, but I mean, this hand seems fine. It's a little awkward of a hand, I guess, but... Opponent is on a mold of 5. I mean, I boarded out of planes. Alright, my opponent has kept their 5-card hand. See what they got for us. Delta go. Standstill. I mean, feels kind of hard to pass up Standstill, right? Did I do this wrong? Should be fine. Okay. Well, we have successfully made the time stand still, which is nice. All right, time to do nothing for a long time. All right, no more land drops from our opponent. That's a good thing. Don't know if there's any reason to hold the wasteland. Might just hold the wasteland. Someone mind timing out smoke for me? I don't know. We've done a lot of Lotus Standstilling today. And the last time we Lotus Standstill, we lost quite badly. Maybe it's bad to go Standstill because my opponent was on so little resources, but yeah, I guess they can Beseiju me, sure. Oh, they're just gonna break it now? Sure. I'm down. I am down. I don't know if I should be shuffling here. Maybe I'm supposed to crack those before the draw 3. Probably. We don't actually have that much counter magic, though. We do have our strip mine for their island, though. You just put this Timeless Dragon in the bin. Next turn, maybe we go Standstill Dragon or something. I feel like we want... They already played a land this turn, right? I feel like we want to just dig in response. Maybe bait a counterspell, and then we'll just EE it. Don't really think I care about this at the moment. Maybe this just runs us into Flusterstorm for no reason. The Wasteland should have been played. I don't know. Maybe. Flusterstorm. And all right, so I'm going to take an Ending and a Flusterstorm. Seems fine. I'm just going to let this Oath resolve. I don't think I care. Yeah, that was what I was playing towards. Holding Wasteland in my hand meant if I draw Library, we're closer to 7. That is what I was playing towards for sure. So let's go with our EE. So I can just do white, red, engineered explosives on 2. Or maybe I'm supposed to lead by waste strip mining them. That probably would have been better. Oh well. So unfortunately now I can't hold up Flusterstorm for my Standstill, so I'm probably not supposed to cast it. So that was a bit of a mistake. I feel like I've sequenced very poorly here. Very, very poorly here. I guess I'll just wait and then activate E on their end step. That's probably fine. They have enough to play a Yoko, which is kind of annoying. Well, it's fine. I'm just gonna do it, whenever. Like, I don't think I want to jam there. It doesn't feel very good. Maybe I can even wait on this E. It's possible. Cage. Cage is pretty funny. Don't want to play Cage right now when my opponent can, or when I stop my Timeless Dragon. Wait, does that stop my... That actually doesn't stop my Timeless Dragon, does it? Creatures can't enter the battlefield. Yeah, it's just a token and can't cast spells. That's not casting, so it actually works out fine. Wow, I did not play around this. I did not play around this very much. Maybe it's just fine. We'll just stand still after. I do not really play around that very well. Probably fine though. Yeah, again, I feel like I've played these games like just slightly, or at least slightly, maybe more suboptimally, and I'm like losing edges in different places. We have so many answers to Oath though, which is kind of nice. Don't have a great board against Oko, but maybe it'll be fine. Like, we can go Standstill, Timeless Dragon, and if my opponent plays an Oath, breaks our Standstill, we can have 2 answers to Standstill, so it's, or to Oath. It's totally fine. Feels like a tough game for our opponent to win. Oh, man. I feel like so bad. Where did that order go? I'll just hope it arrives. I don't know what happened to it. Where is it? I sure hope they're like open today. That'd be so bad. Like, yeah, we took your money, but we're not actually open today. Oh, sorry. My dig is resolved, so let's do Standstill. And let's get a dragon. Okay, cool. So I assume my opponent will just like jam an Oath into this. I'll probably force it, like get them to use all their stuff. Ooh, there's a, yeah. What is this? They have their own Jace the Mind Sculptor. That's kind of funny. Sure, let's force it. I have a Narset. I don't really need to force it, but I also don't want them bouncing my Timeless Dragon. So do I care about a Fluster at this point in the game? Probably not. Oh, okay, there's no follow-up. That's good for me. So I'm 1 card away here from library. Let's just get a Narset in play. Oh my god, we just have all the answers, right? Let's just get a Teferi. I think Teferi is better than Jace. Lost my Teferi. Yeah, you're probably right. Maybe miss Flusterstorm slightly better. I don't know. I just don't understand what I'm flustering at this point in the game. The good news is if they jam an Oath, they have 8 million answers to Oath, and they can't do anything about it. So I have a Narset, so this preordain doesn't matter. We're like so far ahead, probably all my misplays just don't matter at this point. I guess we can get like Oko, but even that doesn't even look good. If this is Treasure Cruise, okay, it's Oko, sure. So what are you gonna do? Like stand up, like turn my like, what's the plan here? Doesn't feel like there's a really reasonable plan for them. Sure. I don't know. I'm just gonna play everything. I guess that's a card I should put on the bottom. I don't know. I don't know if it matters, to be honest. Oh, I guess I lose my Narset this way. So maybe I was supposed to not do it. I don't know. I'm literally taking actions at random. I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I probably shouldn't have done this because I'm going to lose my Narset, but then they lose their Oko, and I don't know. Probably, and then I bounce and then be winning, so it probably doesn't matter. Could I have activated library? I didn't see how I could activate library. I don't know. I don't know how much it matters, like, that I play perfectly optimal at that point in the game when I am just so far ahead of my opponent, but there was probably a lot of better choices I could have made. Okay, let's do it. Round 3. This hand does not look good. I'm not really sure what this is going to beat, so I'm going to try to mulligan this hand. This hand looks much better. I draw a lot of Ancestrals with this deck. Kind of like it. I just don't own Shredders, so I had to make some content, you know? I feel like we don't want this Standstill. I feel like we want just having access to this stuff. Seems better. My opponent has mulled a 4, which is concerning, actually, because it means my opponent could be playing Dredge, which we would need to find a Wasteland for. Yeah, they are playing Dredge. Oh, wait, they're not playing Dredge. They're playing Gak with Serum Powder? I'm confused. Okay, so my opponent has Yavimaya, Powder, Beseiju, Bazaar, no cards in hand. After activating this Bazaar, they have nothing. Wow, they hit Master of Death Rootwalla. That is a hell of a first draw for this game. Holy hell. Well, that's a pretty good mull to 0, or mull to 1, I guess. Doesn't really make sense to Ancestral and Overdraw, so I'm just gonna draw on their upkeep. How much did this vintage deck cost? I mean, this vintage deck is not very expensive on Magic Online, if I recall correctly. Mine is, because I have nice borders, but Magic Online is a very cheap alternative to playing vintage. It's only, 600 tickets or so, so it's less than a lot of modern decks. Okay, so we actually found our Wastelands. So should be in pretty decent shape. Why did my opponent activate Bazaar of Baghdad? Well, they hit a squee, so I guess it worked out for them. I feel like my opponent should have drawn for turn and then activated this to try to find a hollow one. MTG cheaper than Arena. Sometimes. Arena's pricing is very predatory, so. Alright, so I have access to a Wasteland, which puts me in a good spot. I do have to beat a Basking Rootwalla, which I'm not 100% sure that I will be able to do. We'll see what happens. Okay, so they drew a Wasteland, which is kind of annoying for us, but not really. I don't think I'm going to... I think I'm just going to Wasteland their Wasteland, so I can play my Time Walk with no problem. I guess right now I'm gonna time walk, but like I know my opponent's hand is Squee plus Master of Death. Oh, they're gonna wasteland my wasteland. Yeah, I don't give a shit. Sure, same thing, I guess. I just wanted my Tundra to not die, so. All right, I do still need to beat up Asking Ruwala, which my deck doesn't do particularly well, but. And if my opponent ever finds another Bazaar, it ends up being quite bad for me, seeing as I use my Wasteland to preserve my Tundra. So I'm not 100% sure we're going to win this game, but we certainly are ahead. I mean, we might lose. This deck has a lot of forces in it, so it could just draw all forces and lose, right? Jace the Mind Sculptor, huh? I would definitely like to play a Jace the Mind Sculptor, but... yeah, it's a very standstill thing to happen. Alright, I drew a Wasteland and a way to play Jace the Mind Sculptor, and I tapped for not a blue mana. I think I'm just gonna plus this Jace to start. Maybe I can bounce it, but then they're just gonna play Bizarre. They're just gonna like discard this at end step and play it every time. I guess I can just misstep it. Yeah, let's just start by bouncing this, and then that way we can play a standstill. It's probably fine. Maybe I don't need to bounce it, but I kind of want to just misstep it and then be in a great spot. I guess this means I lose my misstep for like a Noxious Revival, but I don't know if that matters too much. All right, yeah, I mean, that should be pretty game. Let's just Fate Seal them. It's fine. What is Rojo Gak? I don't understand. So my opponent can like push the Vengevine in the yard, but it's really hard for them to get the Vengevine back, so doesn't matter too much. Balance is not exactly a great card draw here. I'm gonna actually just do a Brainstorm because I have plenty of things to utilize. Yeah, let's get rid of Balance and let's get rid of Mindbreak Trap. And then we'll fetch them away and we'll get a Tolarian Academy. And we'll just go for the Karn Victory. Probably should just tap Strip Line, but... Alright, so then we'll probe them and then slam a Lattice, and that is the game. I guess with Squee, they could technically discard 2 things that mattered. All right, let's go to 9 and see what's in their hand. They have Vigor. Okay, nothing matters. So we're just going to go get our thing. If my opponent had, like, I guess I would have just forced a hollow one. Maybe it wouldn't have mattered. Sure. Don't care much. Okay, cool. They have seen the writing on the wall. All right, what are we going to do against some kind of interesting version of Hollow Vine? Bring in some Rest in Pieces. Might bring in Swords or Supreme. I'm not sure if those are good. Crucible might be good. Needles might be good. Cage is like only Vine. Tabernacle is definitely going to be good. All right, I need to learn how to board here. This looks like it could be quite challenging board plan. Trap is bad. Jace looks bad. I think EE is bad. Negation is definitely bad. Are we like, this is like not a standstill matchup, right? Feels like standstill is probably bad. Drain is probably bad. This kind of feels like where we want to be. You think Cage is terrible? I'm down. I'm down. Maybe like this. I don't really care about killing multiple root wall. We have Tabernacle for that, right? Doesn't feel like that's a necessary play. I feel like that's very much overboarding. Yeah, Cage is only Vine. All right, what about this? This looks kind of reasonable to me. Well, negation is good when you're countering their spells on their turn, and we're not doing that, so. I think I'm gonna go like this. This looks reasonable to me. Okay. What we got? This hand's no good. Doesn't have a wasteland. We are probably in Operation Molda Wasteland. Maybe this is keepable. Kind of an interesting hand. That is a very interesting hand. I don't know. It doesn't really feel keepable. You need to balance away their creatures. So yes. Balance is very important. I don't know. I mean, if you just put away the Supreme Verdict and then you draw Island, you have Ancestral Force and Tabernacle. But it doesn't have a Wasteland, which makes me think I don't really want to keep it. I'm pretty sure I'm not keeping any hand that doesn't have a Wasteland. Oh, well, I just said that, but I'm keeping this hand, so. They kept 7, though, so this hand probably doesn't beat a 7-card Vengevine hand. So, but I don't think I'm allowed to mulligan it either. It just doesn't feel like something I'm allowed to mulligan, but it also feels like something that's probably not going to win the game against a 7-card keep. Okay. Black Lotus in Hollowvine? Interesting. I mean, I feel like so they're going to Besage you my Needle? Whatever, that's fine. I think I just jam Needle here. Make them have it. This is a very interesting build of Hollowvine. I've never seen something quite like it. Wasteland is pretty good against me here. 10-turn clock. Sure. Let's just do... I mean, I think if they had a Vigor, they would have Vigored already, so I'm just going to Time Walk. If they want to negate it, I don't care. I feel like they would have negated already as well. I probably shouldn't have played this card. I probably should have... I don't like any of the things I just did, but whatever. They have a mental? No mental. Really hate all the plays I made in this sequence here. Kind of just expose myself. Oh my god, that's not good. Oh no. Oh no. Uh-oh. Okay. Why didn't they do... Okay. It's kind of an interesting game because my Tabernacle's not going to be good enough. Mana Drain is not good in this matchup. Mana Drain is not good in any matchup, but I already took a bunch of cards out, so. Is Mana Drain good in this matchup? Nah. Nah, friend. It is not. It's not good. Maybe I'm supposed to get a Plains. See, it feels pretty bad to get a Plains here. Okay, so this is a good draw. Now the question is, am I hitting... Oh, God, what am I hitting? Maybe I just hit the Bazaar and I bring back a Timeless Dragon. Kind of feels good, actually. Kind of feels like winning. How do they beat a Timeless Dragon? I think it's 4 power, 4 toughness. They have a second Bazaar. Well, I didn't play around that. Well, they do have Fury in their deck, I guess. What a weird deck. Oh no. Rootwalla plus Vengevine. Did they also hit a hollow one as their last card? That would be bad. They did not. Okay. So that's not too big a deal. All right. That is a solid draw. So let's... we should cruise first, right? Let's cruise first. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Boop. All right. I feel like we've stabilized. However, it's a very odd board position where my opponent actually has access to like a lot of mana. 6 mana. This is a hard cast Vengevine. Hard cast Vigor. What did that hit? Okay, sure. That's fine. Don't care very much, I guess. Maybe I do care. Kind of hard to say. Don't feel great about this current setup, but looks winnable. All right, how do I play this? I need another Wasteland on Cradle, probably. I probably need another Rest in Peace as well. That's something. I can have Merchant for... not much. Probably just play Narset and hope it hits something nice. Maybe I don't even activate it and make them attack into it. That might actually be the play. Kind of think I don't want my Narset to die, and they have like not great attacks here. They'll put mana into their Root Wallas, but it won't be good. I like this setup actually. It looks quite good. I should have tapped. I should have played Island and tapped both of the islands, so I could have had 2 swords up in case they had a Wasteland. Alright, so I swords this, I kill this. They actually end up with nothing left really here. Oh, they're gonna castle Once Upon a Time. That's so cool. They've had so much mana to actually cast spells. I definitely think I should have played my mana base right there better. Alright, they found a hollow one, which I don't think they can play. I don't think I will activate Narset either. What am I merchant scrolling for? I don't know, something? Or maybe it's better to just Time Raveler. I don't know. Merchant is a blue instant. And there's only 1 swords in our deck, so. Probably just has to find Dig. I guess Flusterstorm is not the end of the world, but... I mean, Dig's probably approaching castability in the near future. Okay, sounds good, Raphael. Catch you later. I just like a heads up, Raphael, I might not do it tonight, depending on how I feel at the end of this league. I'm just like, I'm definitely sick, and I'm trying to do my best. Ooh, Brainstorm. Brainstorm is interesting. I don't know. Maybe we just leave open Brainstorm, Mana Drain. Nice, that's awesome. It's glad you're able to have some fun. Well, imagine we mana drain a hollow one. That'll be fun. Can't do that yet, but because opponent still can't draw an extra card, but next turn maybe. Excuse me. I'm gonna keep eating while we wait. Okay. Hmm. I do want a Wasteland. I don't want a Sapphire or a Strand. That works out pretty well. Probably just gonna waste this Cradle. Let's get a Plains, I guess. Actually, we have no more fetch lands in our deck. No, we have some Flooded Strands. I guess it doesn't matter then. I didn't need a Pearl. Fairy. Okay, my opponent has had enough, which is probably fair. Yeah, I mean, that was a thorough beating in a matchup I didn't expect to be very favored in. Kind of odd games, though. Definitely take it. All right, let's do it, chat. Let's do it. Round 4 with Standstill. Let's begin. This is what I was really worried about. I am incredibly sus on Tolarian Academy in this deck. I really don't like it very much. It's not a bad hand if my opponent is on GAC with having a balance, but it's not a great hand no matter what. Kind of want to just put it back and try for something better. I just don't like this hand. It's like feels like it has a bunch of uncastables, a land that doesn't do anything. Let's just mulligan this hand. I don't like know if this is much better, to be honest, but don't know if this is much better. It's a little scary to play a Standstill, right? If they're on GAC and they use Bloodghast. Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like going to 5 on the draw or on the play makes a lot of sense here, so. I don't think that Squee is the best 8 Bizarre deck Trout. I would say it's far and away Hogak right now anyways. Gak is just the best at doing things. All right, so my opponent is not on Gak, which is kind of nice for us here. Yeah, you got mana, though. What else you got for us? You more mana. Okay, what else you got for us? Is this a Citadel? Time Walk. All right, I mean, I could fluster the Time Walk. I just don't feel like it's worth it. What is this? All right, see, I mean, that's a pretty big win for me. Feels real good. All right, so you're going to go to your next turn? Or do you have another follow-up? Okay. Well, my opponent is far ahead on mana, but we have successfully countered the... Oh, fucking hell. All right, well, I was going to say we could standstill them, but now we can't standstill them. Yeah. This is so bad for us. I think we're just going to lose straight up to Saga, which is something I was very scared about playing a standstill deck. I guess if we draw a Wasteland, we'll be okay, but... Oh, man. Saga follow-up here was just a nightmare. I mean, I have to counter this. I'm just going to pitch the Standstill. I feel like we can keep the Standstill at this point. All right, they have 1 card left. If we draw a Wasteland, we're probably ahead. If we don't draw a Wasteland, we're probably behind. Man, this ending has not killed Saga so many times. I just wish it was March. I absolutely just wish this card... I mean, I guess... I don't know. I feel like... It's very frustrating. Have to find Wasteland here off this Brainstorm. Ah, they have Mental Misstep as their last card. Okay, so I think we're just very dead. My opponent's had a lot of power here, for sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 restricted cards is probably very hard to beat. Worth noting, I guess, that Mental Misstep would have countered March. Though we would have had Force backup, so... Oh, man. Yeah, I'm real worried about Saga matchups as the Standstill player. Feels really like this kind of card really preys on the Standstill deck. They've played almost all restricted cards. All their non-land cards have been restricted, huh? Time Walk, Lotus, Demonic, Probe, Mental Misstep, Brainstorm. Not Needle. What are you going to do? Wasteland? That's brutal. Guess I have a Prismatic Ending, so it doesn't matter, but... I would... What, they named Tundra? Why did my opponent name Tundra? That is not exactly the card of choice I would have named. Alright, well, I think I am just going to ending this Construct token. The problem here is my opponent gets another Construct token and a Sensei's Top, and I just can't beat that. Yeah, this doesn't do anything, unfortunately, but... This is going to get top. And then I'm super behind. Kind of tough. Not much we could have done, I don't think. What? That's weird. Why would they get a Moxen? Maybe they drew Hull Breacher? I feel like they must have drawn Hull Breacher. There's like no reason you don't get a top there. It must be Hull Breacher, yeah? Okay, so... I don't know. Felt like a pretty easy read. Alright, I'm good here. Let's go next. So last time we played against this deck, what did we do? We brought in EEs, and we brought in one of each, right? And kept Karn. We brought in one EE, one Needle, and we brought in Swords. And then we took out Planes, and I don't know what else we took out. What else did we take out? Don't know. Don't know. All of this seems fine. Maybe Jace. I mean, Jace isn't like the end of the world, but it doesn't feel great. I mean, I feel like if there's any deck you want to mana drain, this would be the deck, right? Maybe PO's a little bit higher. Like if there was a matchup I wanted mana drain, I feel like this would be the one. Oh, I don't really like Flusterstorm if it's Tinker. Like I'd like to be 2 or 3 Flusterstorms. This is fine. All right, we'll bring in some extra Saga Hate, and we'll play it like this. Our best card in the matchup is probably just Karn. Would think. Okay. Opponent is mulliganing at least once. And then we get to see what they got. Basically cheating. Take a look at their hand for free. Survey says Jet, Saga, C, Force, Repeal, Yogwill. There's no way to get my opponent to trigger Mindbreak Trap, right? I guess it's possible if they draw another Moxen, they can trigger Mindbreak Trap. I'm going to see if they trigger Mindbreak Trap, in which case I'll jam this Ancestral. Like, if they draw a Moxen here, they could very easily go Saga Jet, another Moxen, and then end of turn we cast Ancestral and trap their Force. Feels like pretty reasonable. Whereas I can't resolve this Ancestral through Force anyways. Come on, Moxen, 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 Moxen. No Moxen. Well, we weren't able to do it. I think I'm going to just cast the... Well, I could maybe... feels like I should... Like, I can't really wait for Teferi, right? Could draw Fluster... But I cut a Fluster. Alright, I'll wait. I'll wait. I'll try to wait. Ending. Wow, okay, so ending looks kind of nice here, right? We can ending the jet and make sure they don't get Saga tokens. I guess if they force back, we resolve Ancestral. Okay. I mean, eventually we can just play a Teferi, and then that also will counter their force. So this is good, because they have to draw a Moxen now to activate Saga, which they didn't. This looks quite strong for me. I'm just going to jam my Teferi. This is going to get forced, which I think is fine. My opponent probably is going to get like a Black Lotus to go with their Yogwell. Might have access to Trap. Did they pitch Repeal? They did pitch Repeal. Okay, so all we know about is Yogwell. They might just go top, though. Kind of depends on if they like drew something good. I don't think resolving Teferi is better than resolving Ancestral, no. I don't think that's good play. Like, we do need this Ancestral to resolve to continue playing this game. Like, we don't need a Teferi. We don't really have action. I think an Ancestral is more important than a Teferi by a large amount. If I had a Force, then maybe I would agree, but oh, they went for top. Interesting. Okay. Spin. Mana Crypt. Okay. So they've only played one spell. If they hadn't played their land, they could have gone Yogg-Will, bring back Saga, which I actually think is quite a strong play. It'd be really hard for us to beat that. Hopefully we just draw a land and slam a Karn. Just kill the Crypt, and I feel like we'd be in good shape. They only have one other card in hand, though, and we know they have Yogg-Will as one, and then we don't know what the other card is. Uh-oh. Second spell for turn is what? Time Walk. That is kind of unfortunate. So now they can go Yogg-Will back, Saga Time Walk. Jeez. That is a nightmare situation. That is a nightmare. Yeah, my opponent can just go Saga Time Walk. Wow. This has been frustrating. Yep. Mind Break Trap, not doing it. Yeah, I'm really far behind now. Oh boy. Kind of need to draw. I mean, even a Wasteland, they're going to have at least one Saga token. Very rough time for me here. And we know that they have a top among their 3 cards. I did not board in Verdict. That is not a card I boarded in. Not much I can do about this. Well, I'm gonna have to cast Ancestral, hope it resolves, and be in a decent spot after. Standstill's so bad. Standstill is just not a good magic card. What did you draw? Oh my god. Alright, cool. Sure. Okay, 5th and final round. We're up against Senpai. Senpai's playing Birdblade. 2 victories for Birdblade in challenges recently. This hand looks quite reasonable. Yup, has the Moxen. It's a good start. You have a Shredder or a Stoneforge. I think we have to counter either, so... Yeah, I'm gonna have to counter that one. Let's just pitch this Standstill. Really think I want this Standstill right now. If I had a Mox in my hand, I would definitely think of differently, but... Like, the chance that my opponent has a follow-up creature is very high. Alright, yep, there's a follow-up bird. I mean, I feel real far behind. Really far behind. This card is so nuts. I think this card is extremely underplayed in Vintage right now. There's a lot of decks that could go in, and I think it should go in. Pretty high on this card. I don't have them anymore. I sold them because I made such a profit selling them, but now I don't own any. Kind of stupid of me. Should have bought some more. Okay. I'm just going to hold up Dragon. Doesn't really feel like playing Merchant Scroll gets me anywhere right now. I don't think doing much of anything gets me anywhere, to be fair. Oh, no. All right, well, the good news is I have a Mental Misstep for Force of Will. Or for Ancestral, my bad. The bad news is they have, like, access to Fluster, so... Doesn't feel great. Maybe they're going to get Force of Will? I don't know why we'd be tanking. Feels like Ancestral makes the most sense. Creatures are whatever in Vintage. I don't really agree with that. I think the current metagame is heavily based around creatures. All right, well, time to find out if my opponent has a Flusterstorm amongst their hand. I think the Shredder was extremely powerful. All right, well, I am going to Mental Misstep your thing. Let's hope this works, because if it doesn't work, we're super far behind. All right, so it did work. That's a good thing. However, we're down in mana. We're down on board. We're down. Like, our Dragon's going to be outsized by this Shredder. I don't really agree with that statement. Young PZ is not a very strong Magic card, whereas Ledger Shredder is an extremely strong Magic card. All right, well, I am going to jam my... Oh, I did not want to play that. Didn't I hit Plains? That's really unfortunate. I wanted to hit Plains there, but... Oh, I had another island I could have gotten, but I can't... I need to get a Tundra. Man, that was so bad. I thought I hit Plains, but I guess I didn't. I wanted to play the Plains, so I couldn't get Wastelanded. I mean, if they have Hull Breacher, they have Hull Breacher. Again, I just can't do anything. I have to play my cards and hope it works out. Not much I can do here. They pitched a Wasteland is not a good sign, because it means they probably already have a Wasteland here. Yeah, this might be game losing, to be honest. Like, Wasteland here is just so bad for me. I just feel like even if I get a Timeless Dragon in play, it's going to be outsized by this Shredder, isn't it? Like, if not immediately, but then soon after. I mean, if they just have a Delve spell, it's quite good here, right? Oh, no. What is this? Oh. Oh, my. Okay. That's not great for me. That is not great for me. Those are not great for me. Mana Drain would have been pretty nice last turn. Force of Will would have been pretty nice last turn. Oh my god, I'm triggering my opponent's Shredder, so I'm going to die to 2 spells next turn too. Kind of crazy. Alright, well, I had to do what I had to do, and I'm doing it, but we're very dead here. This card is just so broken. Supremely underplayed. The jump. Oh, this tramples. Never mind, we're just dead. We are just dead. Okay. That was unfortunate for sure. I definitely want Swords of Plowshares. I don't know what else we want. Doesn't really feel like a great EE matchup, but it's not an unreasonable EE matchup. Definitely a Supreme Verdict matchup. Definitely a Supreme Verdict matchup. That's probably it. We should have to figure out what we don't want. It is a Wasteland matchup, so I probably need to keep my lands this time. Feels like it could be a good Standstill matchup. Doesn't really feel like a great negation matchup, or well, maybe it's fine. Needle? Maybe Needle's okay. Like, do you want to just take out this and like Needle hits Stoneforge and Wasteland, but hits our own Wasteland? Like, it's just hitting just Stoneforge. I don't really like that very much. Kind of off it. Kind of think I just want to get rid of Karn and Jace is not bad. Here, maybe? Yeah, they're going to be playing a sort of Fire and Ice and a Cauldron. I don't know. It feels like a trap matchup, though. Like, so many of these games go down to a counter war. Like, I don't think you're allowed to cut trap here. Could be wrong. I don't really like a lot of our choices, to be honest. It's just like so many matchups that are coming down to a trap. Especially like turn 1, land, mock, Stoneforge. Force a will back up. I force, then we trap kind of deal. I feel like a lot of matches are like that. But I also don't know what else to take out, so nothing makes me feel super happy. None of this makes me feel great. Maybe this isn't a balanced matchup. I don't know. That doesn't seem great either, though. I kind of think I need to keep a balance. I'm just going to get this Jace out of here. It's 4 mana, maybe? I don't know. I feel like it's all kind of medium. Man, this hand just does not look good. Damn, this Tolarian Academy feels really bad. I don't like this Tolarian Academy. I think I'm just going to hold open Mindbreak Trap, though. Yeah. I don't like this very much. It's basically Force of Will. Well, I mean, our hand's always garbage, right? Just kidding. I mean, like, if this trap was something else, like, would it be better? Like, if it was a needle, do we actually give a shit? Doesn't feel like we do. I'm just gonna, like, Teferi bounce it, probably. Doesn't really make sense to counter it. Needle is better with Academy. I guess it's true. Well, I can counter this time, but I still am losing 2 for 1. But next time, maybe I won't lose 2 for 1. Memory Trap was great there. It was a blue card that pitched a Force of Will. Kind of broken. Man, we are drawing a supremely large number of mana sources. Does not feel good. Wasteland. Unfortunately, I don't have 5 mana yet, so I have to use this Lotus to force, which puts us in a really awkward spot. This Tolarian Academy is not great. This is a Mentor. It's not even going to be an island for long. I'm going to have to use this Black Lotus. It's way worse than an island, actually. It's a wastelandable 0 mana land. I would snap cut this card from my deck. Oh my god. I don't know. I mean, I kept a hand and I've drawn all lands, right? I don't know. Like, what else am I supposed to do? Was I supposed to mulligan? I don't know. Maybe I was supposed to mulligan. You don't have that many ways to generate card advantage, though. And like, I just lose to this. I guess maybe if I had drawn Standstill at some point in that sequence, that would have been good for me. But okay, I think I just... I mean, now I'm going to get Flusterstormed, right? I just don't know what our angle is here. Like, I don't want to pitch cast Force here. I don't know. It just feels like we're slowly losing as our opponent casts one spell at a time and we run out of counter spells and then die. And maybe the answer is we were just supposed to find Standstill and we didn't find it, but I'm not sure. I mean, our Teferi cashed in for 2 cards. That's always nice. But like, we've done how many pitch casts? We've pitch cast once plus pitch cast off of Bloatus. Yeah, it just doesn't seem very playable. Like, this just runs right into Fluster, but I don't think I'm allowed to pitch cast it, so. The good news is they don't get a Ledger Shredder trigger because they cast 2 spells already. Time Walk, okay, sure, yeah. I know I'm drawing Force next turn. Feels quite bad. Oh my god, we're dead. We're so dead. Oh boy. Okay, I guess we have to hit removal spell. I mean, we're basically playing a match of Legacy, right? You have Mental Misstep? Please no. Why? Why? Oh my god. We're just so dead. Yeah, this kind of seems like a nightmare. I don't know. Maybe they just have so many threats, but it doesn't. It's more like we just didn't have any action. I think forcing the misstep doesn't make a lot of sense either because they just get a Shredder trigger. I think forcing the misstep looks quite bad as well. I think forcing the misstep is silly. Perfect. All right. Well, that was not great. Let's see. What do we think about this deck? I don't feel like I'm a very good pilot of this deck. I would let the people who want to play this deck play the deck. It doesn't seem like it makes sense, and I think I just like there were definitely times where I was slightly inaccurate, but I don't think they wouldn't make too much of a difference except for maybe round 1 where we played like a Teferi instead of an Ancestral and just misevaluated which one was more powerful. Like a lot of the games felt like we had the tools that we needed to win the game, but we didn't draw the tools. Like there was a lot of games versus Saga Tinker that we just needed a Wasteland and we would have been fine. And then we just like never found a Wasteland and died. Not really sure. I just don't feel like this card is powerful enough to warrant building around. At least like even the games where we cast Standstill, how many of these Standstill matches do we win? Like half? I feel like we won maybe half of our games where we resolved Standstill. Like 1 of 2. We actually didn't play that many games where we resolved Standstill, right? A lot of the games were just us, drawing more cards because of Ancestral. Or like we won a lot of Karn Lattice games. I'm not really sure. Well, I'm sure Aaron will watch the video and tell me where all the places where I was misevaluating, and maybe we could have eked out like another win. But I don't know about eking out like more than one win here. It kind of feels like it just feels like you're doing something way less strong than everybody else. So I hope you enjoyed this. It was a little rough to make it, but we got there to the end. I know that people on YouTube love the standstill content, so hopefully you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video.